Let's get more on the retail story. Bring in one of the nation's most experienced retail executives, Allen Questrom. Ran JCPenney, Macy's, Barney's, Neiman Marcus. He's also a former Walmart board member. He joins us on the phone. Allen, great to speak with you.
Nice to be with you.
How do you look at this retail environment right now? I mean, Karen was mentioning stocks are close to all-time highs or 52-week highs. Walmart, for instance, is only off 6.3% from its 52-week high. Target's only down 9% from its high. And yet we have an economy which is in shambles, consumers which are out of work, and a historic unemployment rate. Does this jive with you in terms of how investors are seeing the stock? And how the economy really is?
It does jive because, first of all, both of them are in the grocery business. Both of them have very good e-commerce business, particularly Walmart and Target has put a lot of money into their e-commerce and also upgrading their stores. I think both of them are very well-run companies, and they've done a lot of things in the past that prepared them for the future. And I think because, particularly in Walmart's case, because they have such a big percentage of their business, I think over 55% is in the grocery business, and Target has gotten into the grocery business, that keeps customers coming in on a weekly basis, so they get people coming in, and they've also had the benefit over the last couple of months of having their stores open and everybody else is closed, and so they've been able to sell other things in their stores other than groceries. So that's been a huge plus to them. I think the other companies like Costco, I think, is another great company where, although last month was a little tough, that is a company that's consistently come up with comps because they give great value to the customer. You know, and you heard a little bit on TJ Maxx. Again, another great story. TJ Maxx has had a long history of successes. They've got great value because that's the whole story is about value, and it's a treasure hunt. But again, they may have a little more difficulty in the beginning stage because a lot of these stores are going to be starting to open. They got a lot of carryover merchandise from the spring season, which they didn't sell, so they're going to all be on big sales. So that may be a little tough, but over the long term, TJ Maxx has been a very successful company in finding value in the market. The customer is looking for value. Reason Dollar General is also doing well. It's lower price, but it offers day-to-day value all the time.
You have such a unique perspective, Allen, because you have touched on a consumer in various demographics in terms
of... All levels.
Exactly, all levels of consumer out there. So if you had to force to choose, let's say, 4 stocks that you think will do well in the post-pandemic world, what would they be?
Well, post-pandemic world, let me say long-term, I believe that the Walmarts, the Targets, the Costcos, Home Depots, Lowe's, those kind of stores I think are long-term going to be very, very good because I think a combination in the case of Walmart and Target of food and Costco food and other areas, and the e-commerce, particularly in the first 2, Walmart and Target. Those are going to do very well long-term, and I think because they've been always upgrading their assortments, upgrading their ability to execute their business, I think that makes them a plus. TJ Maxx, I think, is just long-term because they know how to find value for the customer, and I think the customer is obviously very concerned with it. When you have 40 million people unemployed, it's going to be a difficult time to figure out where it's all going to go because they're not going to come back automatically. And until you get people back in the workforce, there's going to be a lot less money out there available to buy. And so I think this is something you have to look at, as you say, long-term, and who is giving the best deals. Best Buy is another one. I think, you know, they had their stores closed, so their business is down, but that's a company that's done a very good job at serving a customer that's in a very important category, the electronic side. And their stores suffered because they weren't open, which I disagreed with them not opening, but the stores that had their stores open with electronics did very, very well with.
You emphasize long-term, and yes, that's the question that I asked you, Allen, but it sounds like almost you actually have a vision of what the short-term may look like and which retailers might do well in the short term. So in this pandemic world we live in, is there a difference between the stocks that you would pick or the retailers you would pick for now versus the ones for the long term?
Well, for the short term, you know, it's gonna be the necessities. Obviously, going to be the most important thing that people are going to buy because if you got a limited amount of money, that's what you're going to buy. Discretionary is a longer term because I think when you think about where am I going to wear my clothes, you know, I'm going to be home. I don't have a real need for that, so that's an issue in terms of people have their restaurants open and places to go and go back to work where they have to get dressed up. That's going to be a little longer term. You know, it is not something that that is going to happen overnight, and so it's very difficult to say where these are all going to be. I don't think, by the way, the Macy's are going to go out of business. I don't think that Neiman Marcus is going to go out of business. But there are stores that were doing very poorly before this happened. The chances of them surviving are little or none, quite frankly, because this is certainly didn't help when you're not doing well already. So I think that's a long-term. Many of those stores won't do. But again, the things I'm giving you names on are those companies that had very good fundamentals before. So I believe those are short-term and long-term, and particularly the short-term necessities is certainly essential.
Alan, always great to speak with you. Thank you.
Okay, good luck. Thank you very much.
Alan Questrom.
Stay healthy.
Thanks, you too. Karen Finerman, you and I have had multiple conversations about how it will be difficult to wear actual proper pants eventually. I'm wearing proper pants, but I'm in the office, so I have to.
Yes.
But when working from home, how
not.
difficult it would be to actually pull on a pair of slacks, if you will, tailored pants, as opposed to, yoga pants or sweats.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's right. Lululemon is another one. It's expensive, but I think it's not just a great retailer. I think it's an actual COVID winner. I really do resent having to wear proper pants, and if I weren't doing this show right now, I wouldn't have a sweater on. Would just have a sweatshirt. And that would be my outfit all the time. So I thought it was interesting, though, how Alan was not optimistic on the department stores. Not that they would go out of business, but not as a stock to own.
Yeah.
He has a lot of experience in the space.
Everybody here is wearing pants, by the way.
Sad for them.
I can safely say, I don't know, I know them so well. I'm going, oh, Tim, you're raising your hand. Uh-oh.
Well, they're proper pants. They're proper pants, I promise.
Okay.